the bureau. Every day,
He's
the most
lived here for 35 years.
outside Taiwan,
Wow.
the CEO.
I'm not sure about that. I didn't ask him.
Taichung?
Oh, these was
You mean earthquake?
More than
No, we remember.
Oh, I see. Yeah, 35
Get
years.
like 40,000 a year, but
What it's been in Taiwan 30 years around.
that's incredible.
Yeah.
Structure.
last major earthquake, more than 2,000.
Yeah. And now you're not allowed to build along the fault lines.
Not allowed. There are certain for earthquake. 那个叫做那个
Yeah, something like that.
地震带
There's a line.
那个地震带
地层断裂。
because there's too quick to break and it's moved.
Plate.
Yeah, so not suitable, unstable.
It's already on there. It's already on there. Hey, it's already on there.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
So people living here need to fight more with nature.
Monsoons too, right? Yeah. So, do you, the earthquake, is there a way to detect what is going to happen?
It's, the modern technology only can give you maybe 0.5 seconds to do that. It can detect the so-called activity, but no one cannot be sure. Maybe normally suddenly. So no one
Rotarian, please all rise for the four-way test.
You don't need. You are not Rotarian. You are big.
The four-way test of the same we think say or true. First,
It is true.
second, third,
Where you wear no
fourth.
where you beneficial to all concerned.
Thank you. Please be seated. Rotary song.
That free song every week.
That's like
R-O-T-A-R-Y, Gospel's Rotary. R-O-T-A-R-Y is known and seen. From north to south, from east to west, he prophets what will serve the best. R-O-T-A-R-Y, Gospel's Rotary.
Second verse.
R-O-T-A-R-Y, Gospel's Rotary. R-O-T-A-R-Y is one great family. Where friends one for mass of him, where else is best to give. R-O-T-A-R-Y, Gospel's Rotary.
Thank you all for leading voice TPA. Next is introduction of the visiting Rotarian and guests. Then we have PP Pass to introduce our guests today.
Good afternoon, our guests, ladies and gentlemen. Let me introduce today's guest, Lisa Howard from GSE, and
Claire.
Claire. Our leader, woman. Paula. Paula, is it? Here. Hello. Oh, Brenda Adams. Max. Oh. Justine. Welcome you all.
PP pass. May we have visiting Rotarian to stand up? Yes?
Just rotate.
Oh, and you should be,
This is your crowd. Zoom in.
We're going to sing a visiting Rotarian song.
Yes, all Rotary we greet you. Oh, yes, all Rotary we greet you. We want you to feel our friendship to you. We are glad you are here today. So take back home the little children. We dance from all of heaven's here. And when once more you are near our Lord, come again, Rotarian, come again.
Okay, no more.
Okay, next is President's time.
Distinguished guest, fellow Rotarian, in this Chinese New Year holiday, I just have a chance to visit New York City and Philadelphia. Yeah, my feeling about these two cities, New York, is stressed, and also discriminated in New York City. No, everywhere crowd of people and high-rise building, especially the Trump building, is surrounded by fence and also a lot of police. It's terrible, and also feel not so good. But I visit Philadelphia, it's quite different. It's a historical city, I think, and I visit the museum, the Liberty Fair Museum. And the street, everywhere here very calm and peaceful. I love it. It's really a nice area because my daughter is a cardiologist and learning some more advanced technique in UPenn Hospital. Yeah, and she stayed there for two months. Yeah, just come back, and I think she will be staying in the UPenn Hospital from this October, maybe 2 years. So I will be very happy to visit there. Okay. Thank you. Welcome our GSE team and Peter Chen and his members. It's really very nice. I'm very impressed. So welcome you. Thank you.
Thank you for your file. Secretary's time, we will have 4 meetings next week. So all the board members, please reserve your time and remember to stay after the meeting, regular meeting next week. Okay. And that's another news. So we're going to move our regular meeting place next week, right? From here to Royal. Second, next month. Yeah. We will have planned to test you with the latest, if there's any changes. And as a reminder for the second outing, it will happen on 22nd and 23rd of April. And if any member would like to interesting, still have time to register. Okay. This is the charter ceremony for our one district club, and that's will happen on the 20th of April, which is Thursday night, 6 p.m. at this place, at Changbong. So, group one, please reserve your time and attend, and if any of the Rotarians would like to join, please register again. Okay, now is our program. Before I invited our introduction speaker, I would like to say something, because I'm also the GSE team before. I went to Georgia in in 2012 and 13 that year, so I had huge fun, and I think this unforgettable life experience for me. So I'm really proud of that, and I hope you will all enjoy your trip in Taiwan. And one day you probably become Rotarian. Who knows? Okay. Give the time to our guest introduction speaker, AG Shuning.
So good afternoon, everybody. For your information, remember the radio station we were this morning? The guide Mark, the DJ Mark. So he and Emily, they belong to the same group. So actually, I have nothing to say because I spent so much time with all the Inbond GSE team, Kent, Duke, Harry, Claire, and Lisa.
Yeah.
And they're from District 7390. That's from Pennsylvania. And in their presentation, they will have a very detailed introduction of themselves. So hopefully you can enjoy the rest 9 days in Taiwan. Okay? Although at the beginning you're not very happy with the arrangement. But we're talking about not happy because here in Taiwan, everybody is so hospitality. Too much food, too much food. Okay.
That's right.
So, but you have to know, this is Taiwan. This is a very traditional Taiwanese culture. We kind of precious our time with our friends and the relatives. So the best way to keep everybody together is eating. And so I know it's very different from the life in the States, but it seems you guys became half Taiwanese already, right? And so that's welcome. Ken and the team.
Yeah, first, before I talk about our Rotary District 7390, I just want to take one moment to explain that 35 years ago, I came to Taiwan. It's the last time I came, and I was able to spend 1 year to study Chinese language. I was a foreign service officer or diplomat with the U.S. State Department. Worked at Meizai Kai Xianhui at that time. And later I was sent to the U.S. Embassy in Beijing and to the U.S. Consulate General in Shanghai, and back to Beijing. So this is a particular really great personal pleasure for me to return to Taiwan after 35 years. Now look, always have a great warm spot in my heart because my son was born here. It's U.S. passport. Where are you born? It says we obviously Rotary District 7390.
Yes.
I'll just explain. My club is from a town called Lidditz in south central Pennsylvania, and this is District 7390. It's made up of 7 counties. There are 45 Rotary clubs in that, for a total of 3,350 members. And as you see, we contribute from that district almost $1 million per year to various international projects such as clean water, polio eradication, and so forth. My club in Lids, which is a rather small town, has 45 members. And each year, we manage to contribute 100,000 US dollars to these projects, and also to support scholarships for students in our area who don't have enough money to themselves attend university. This is just a brief note on Pennsylvania. Many of you have already visited. And I guess one thing to point out is our population of almost 13 million is about roughly half the population of Taiwan. But our land area is probably about twice the size. About twice the size. It's a very large state, actually, stretching from east to west. It takes almost 5 hours to drive a long distance. The most important cities in the state, just mentioned first Philadelphia, where the president just visited, his daughter at University of Pennsylvania Medical Center. I might note, I am a member of Pennsylvania Medical Center. That's I receive benefits from it. Medical benefits. The other important city is, many of you have heard of, is Pittsburgh in this area. Back to Philadelphia. Philadelphia has a very important place in American history. Because at the time of the American Revolution, Philadelphia was America's largest city, and such noted luminaries as Benjamin Franklin and others who lived there. And when the leaders of the 13 colonies decided they wished to separate from British rule, become independent, it is in Pennsylvania. In this building, we call Independence Hall, where they assembled and signed a document, which is the Declaration of Independence, one which we all Americans, of course, hold very dear. Probably most of us have a copy of it. And it was just a declaration of independence. We still had to fight for independence. War with Britain, as you know. And this simply depicts a little of that with General George Washington leading our army for a 7-year battle with the British that we finally managed to win and become independent in 1783. And our first flag, at Betsy Ross in Philadelphia. So, for many Americans, with this high, they study about Philadelphia, the beginning of our history. Our capital, however, has moved from Pennsylvania's capital has moved from Philadelphia to Harrisburg, which members of my delegation will speak of in a moment, because most of us, in fact, now live very close to Harrisburg, which is the current capital of Pennsylvania. This is just a reminder that Pennsylvania has these symbols to represent its heritage, natural heritage. There's a mountain wall, beautiful mountains in the Appalachian Mountains. Ruffled grouse, fireflies, which light up our summer evenings, and I don't know whether Taiwan has a state flower or a state insect, but we enjoy that. I'm going to now introduce Hillary. Ask her to come up and tell you about the Rotary Club and herself.
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Hillary Henson. I'm from Harrisburg, the capital of Pennsylvania. The Harrisburg Rotary is my sponsor. I graduated from York College, which was actually one of the first capitals of the United States, but I'm sure history lesson on the United States. I'm very active in community events. I do a lot of volunteer work, and especially with local theaters. The Harrisburg Rotary is very active with polio prevention, and they're working to end polio worldwide. They donate a significant amount of money for low-income student scholarships, and they provide charity dental care for families in the Dominican Republic. My family and I are very close. They live in York and I live in Harrisburg, so I see them all the time. This is my immediate family, but I also have 14 aunts and uncles and over 70 cousins.
Oh,
Very
big family.
They won't all fit in one photograph. My closest sister is my twin sister, Mallory. So Hillary and Mallory. And my mother used to always dress us alike, so I've provided a picture for you there. Since one of my hobbies is creating costumes, for my sister's wedding, I made her wedding dress. And I also have a very tiny dog named Orville. He's a Chihuahua. I just had to show you some pictures of him. Since I do costumes, I also do dog costumes. One of the most important things in my life are my friends. And just to give you an example, on the right here, my friends from Chicago, my friend Josh works for Rotary International. He's the one that told me about this program and encouraged me to apply. So without him, I wouldn't even be here today. And on the left, these are all of my friends from Harrisburg. Together, we write, we create the costumes, we create the set, and we perform a show called Sunday Best every 2 months. As you can see, we're a very colorful bunch. Harrisburg City is a very historic and beautiful city. It has very tall skyscrapers, but it also feels like a small town. It's right by the river, so there's kayaking and boating and anything that you want to do for fun. And this on the right is my house that I rent. It's very close to my job, which is with the state government. I work as a disability worker for people with serious medical problems. I help them go over their medical records to submit to the government to get benefits. Most of the time, this involves working closely with doctors and also with other adjudicators to help make sure that people who have very serious problems can get the help that they need. And also they encourage us to personalize our workspace, so I have lots of science fiction, Doctor Who, and Star Trek. The Capitol building is one of the most impressive Capitol buildings in the entire United States. It's actually nicknamed the Palace of Art. It's considered priceless because of all of the murals and the stained glass windows and the marble artworks that are inside of it. This right here on the right is their stained glass dome. It's considered one of the most beautiful, and it took, I believe, about 7 or 8 years to build. My second job, as I said, is costume directing, and a lot of that involves recycling. So this is an example of what we call upcycling, where we take something that, like an old radio, and we repurpose it into, in this case, a small chair. And it's a way of using things, instead of buying new, to reuse things that are old. This is an example of the promotional photos for our theater. I've done the costumes for both of these shows. On the left is our Christmas show, Miracle on 34th Street, and on the right is our circus show, which was just called Sunday Best Circus. So you can see we have quite an interesting lineup. And I also do costuming for special events. So on the left is the Fairy Festival, which teaches children and people about recycling and reusing and eating organic. It all takes place on an organic farm. And everyone dresses up like their favorite kind of fairy. So here's me as a flower fairy. And on the right is the Baltimore Comic Convention, where we dress up as different kinds of comic book characters, and you get to meet illustrators and writers so that you can learn, if you're interested in becoming part of the industry, you can get started there. And now I'm going to turn it over to Duke.
Hello, everyone. I also live in Harrisburg. I am a Pennsylvania native, but I just moved to the Harrisburg area about 12 years ago when I started working for state government as well. My sponsoring club is the Harrisburg Keystone Rotary Club. There are two different clubs in Harrisburg. Mine is a club that meets in the evenings. They meet on a Tuesday night at the Appalachian Brewing Company, and for happy hour, so every meeting starts with beer and some social time before they get into the meeting. So this is the club I'll be joining when I get back to the States. Some of the things they sponsor, they are a relatively young club. They only formed in 2005, and they're very active in the community for park cleanups, street cleanups, and also with the local women's shelter, getting women out of abusive situations and human trafficking situations. This is a little bit of my family. My father, at 72, just finally retired this year. One of the things that him and I like to do is we are big baseball fans. So every summer we take a trip and we are trying to visit every Major League Baseball park in the country. This is in the middle is him and I at Detroit Tiger Stadium last summer. And so far we've gotten 17 out of 30. So now we need to get to the west part of the country and start over there. And I was fortunate enough to get to a Taichung Brothers baseball game while I was here, and I love Taiwanese baseball. So much more spirited than American baseball will ever be. And on the far end there is my nephew Sam, and Sam and I are learning how to sail together. Some of my hobbies, my job has me in the office a lot, doing a lot of file reviews, writing a lot of documents. So when I get the opportunity to be off of work, I like to be outside. So these are me and some of my friends. We get on the water and we do kayaking and paddleboarding. We love to get out and motorcycle on the weekends and head up into the mountains. So anything I can do to be out. And the next time I come to Taiwan, I'm hitting the eastern part of the state, of the island, and hitting your national parks and your mountains for some backpacking and camping. So my day job is with the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection, and it is the Division of Dam Safety. So we have approximately 3,000 dams in Pennsylvania that we regulate. And my job is I am the enforcement person. So when someone is not complying with the regulations, I go out and I try to educate them on why it's important to keep their dam safe and what they need to be doing to comply with the regulations. As the state, we also have federal obligations that we need to comply with. So we work very closely with our federal partners for the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. They provide us consultation on helping to keep our dams safe from both domestic and international terrorists. And also we work with our Army Corps of Engineers to provide us specifications on construction standards and operation and maintenance and those kind of activities. One more thing I would like to note, Pennsylvania does have kind of a dubious honor in America in that we enacted the first dam safety law in 1913, but that was only because we had two terrible terrible dam failures. In 1889, a very historic dam failure in the United States was the Johnstown flood, and it killed 2,000 people. And then again in 1911, we had another one called the Austin Dam, and that killed 80 people. So there was a big gap in there until the United States and Pennsylvania finally realized that there needs to be some laws in place, and the government needs to be watching how people are building these and maintaining these structures. In addition to my day job, I also have an entrepreneurial activity. I'm working with a best friend of mine, and we make bow ties. Kind of like Hillary with her upcycling of old products. We take neckties, blusses, dresses, and things we find at secondhand stores, and we turn them into unique, one-of-a-kind handmade bow ties. So on the weekends, we're out selling these at art shows and craft fairs, and we also have some retail locations both in Pennsylvania and New York, and also they're available online. And my goal right now is around this time next year, I hope to be getting on the road and doing this full time and leaving my day job. One of the counties in our district that I'd like to tell you a little about is Lancaster County. When the United States was founded, a lot of people were coming to America for religious freedoms. And Lancaster County was settled by some people called the Amish. And the Amish have stuck to their traditional ways as the modern world has grown up around them. So they do not necessarily use electricity from the electrical grid. They do not own vehicles. They still use horses and buggies to get around. They use horses and manpower to farm the fields. They do have some interaction in that they will use public transportation. They will use a vehicle if someone drives for them, but they are a very unique people to our culture, and also because of their unique lifestyle, they are the #1 tourist attraction in Lancaster County. And on the more modern technical side of Lancaster County, there's a new place that opened up in 2014 called Rock Lidditz. And this is a very high-tech entertainment facility, and what they do is they work with worldwide entertainment stars like U2, Beyonce, Taylor Swift, Usher, and these folks will come here when they want to develop their concert tour, and Rock Lidditz worked with them to design the stage, choreograph the show, and then they perform and practice here before they take it out on the road. And it's been a real boom to the economy and to the status of Lancaster County and the town of Lidditz. And with that, I will turn it over to Claire.
Ni hao. My name is Claire. I also live in the south central part of Pennsylvania. I'm from Maryland originally and have recently moved up. So, what do I do? There we go. My sponsoring club is the Rotary Club, the City of York Rotary Club. They have over 330 members. They are the 24th largest Rotary Club in the world. They also just celebrated their 100th anniversary along with. They sponsor, globally they sponsor clean water initiatives. Locally, they also have impact on the storm drains for clean water. They also clean up parks, rivers, streams, that sort of thing, and preserve planet Earth. They also are sponsors of the local Little League team in New York. I am an only child. I currently live with my parents. My parents own a farm in York, Pennsylvania. And I have 6 dogs. 6. So this is our farm. It's for the United States, it is a very small farm. It's about 12 acres. That's 4.8 hectares. Or about 40,000 square meters, I believe that's what I calculated. It's very small. Most farms in the United States are 100 times larger. My business at the farm is I grow flowers. I'm a farmer florist, so I grow, I cut, and I do arrangements. So here is flowers in the spring, the summer, and the fall. So it's tulips in the spring. Right now, we're getting ready for our tulips. It'll be zinnias, and lisianthus, which are actually on the table right now. In the summer, and in the fall it's dahlias. And this here on the right is our fall harvest dinner that we do with other farmers in the area, where we present a meal outside. We serve 200 people at once, and everything comes locally from our farms locally. So I did the arrangements for the table. That was 80 arrangements that day. Here's some more photos from our farm. We do beef, pork, chicken, eggs, turkeys, vegetables, and I do the cut fodder. So we do a little bit of everything. I also have a second job. In Pennsylvania, it gets very cold in the winter, not as much grows, there's not as much to do. So my degree is actually in computer programming. So I do computer programming on a consulting basis in the wintertime and occasionally during the summer. Social media, websites, mobile web apps, databases, and computer cartography for GIS. So, my hobbies and interests, I'm the opposite of Duke. So much of my time is spent outside that I like to do things inside. I like to do handcrafts. I knit, crochet. I do a little bit of sewing. I'd like to do more. I also do puzzles, logic puzzles, Sudoku, that sort of thing. And I am very interested in music, especially musical theater. Hamilton is a big favorite of mine, but all music in general. So it's a little bit about York County, where I'm from. It's both the city and the county is called York. It's a large industrial city. The city is about 40,000 people, very small city, but it's right along our major interstates. So we are a big factory town. Harley-Davidson has a factory there, and so does York Barbell, which is a famous weightlifting company. There's a small amount of farming, not nearly as much as Lancaster County. York County is also known as the snack capital of the U.S., where we make almost all of the potato chips and like snacks that you would eat, like our sweet snacks, are made there in New York. So it's a great little area. And with that, I will turn it over to Lisa.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm Lisa. That's me, and I was blonde. A little bit about me. My sponsoring club is the Mechanicsburg Rotary Club. They are a very small club, just about 30 people. And they're just a little bit outside of Harrisburg, actually in a different county, Cumberland County. They've been around for about 80 years, and their big annual project is a fundraiser called the Ox Roast. They don't actually roast an ox, they roast a steer, along with some chickens, and they serve some other food as a large picnic to raise funds, which then they distribute throughout the year. Some of the organizations that benefit from the fundraiser, the Joseph Simpson Library in Mechanicsburg, which the Outbound team is going to visit when they come to our area. Student scholarships for local students to attend university. And they've sponsored 2 Mechanicsburg Little League teams for about 65 years. We're also very proud of a recent Rotary International project that they did. They partnered with a Rotary Club in El Salvador, and were able to provide sanitation, 196 composting toilets, and 100 cubic meters of water storage for a small rural town in El Salvador. A little bit about my work. I am a librarian. I work in Dauphin County, which is the county that contains the city of Harrisburg. You can see 8 libraries, those red stars. There's some clustered down here, then there's a mountain in the middle of the county, and then there's a few in the northern part of the county. Throughout the 8 libraries in what we call the library system, we have 350,000 books, magazines, CDs, DVDs, and other items for people to borrow. And about 1 million people visited us in 2016. This is the library that I work in. It's one of those northern ones in a very small town in the mountains. It's called the Millersburg Memorial Library, and that picture on the left, that's the whole thing. That's the entire library right there. Millersburg only has about 3,000 people, and so their library actually is located in the middle school. During the day, it serves the middle school students. Then after school closes, it becomes the public library.
A little bit about my family. I am married. This is my husband, Arn. We've been married for 7 years. We have no kids, but we do have our spoiled cat, Weasel. The name Weasel comes from the Harry Potter books. It's a magical cat-like creature. My cat is not magical. My extended family, I have 3 brothers and 2 sisters. So this is pictures of us at various family events. And, you know, spouses and kids of my siblings. There in the middle are my 2 favorite nephews who live down in Florida. Their father works for Disney, so they get to go there for free whenever they want. Things that I like to do in my spare time, I love to travel. This is my first trip to Asia, but I have been around Europe a little bit. On the left there is our library. I love to visit libraries when I travel. I do a little bit of genealogical research, and this library here in the UK helped me research some of my family. Up on the right there, a church in Poland where I also have ancestors. And down on the right is my favorite photo because just after that photo was taken was when my husband asked me to marry him. I'm also active in Sangha, which is the name that is given to a Buddhist community. We practice in the tradition of Thich Nhat Hanh, who is a Vietnamese monk and who specializes in teaching Buddhist concepts to Americans and Europeans. We meet weekly, and here you can see some photos where we are singing, eating, studying, and practicing walking meditation together. I live in Cumberland County, even though I work in Dauphin County. So just a little bit about Cumberland County. One of the things that is most notable about Cumberland County is the Appalachian Hiking Trail. The Appalachian Trail actually runs all down the eastern coast of the United States. It's about 3,500 kilometers, and about 10% of that runs through Pennsylvania. So all of these photographs here were taken in the Pennsylvania portion of the Appalachian Trail. Down on the right there is what most of it looks like in Cumberland County, mostly farmland. Some of the easiest hiking on the trail. And something else that Cumberland County is very proud of is the United States Army War College. The U.S. Department of Defense has 3 institutes of higher education, and this is one of them, built on the site of the very first United States Army barracks. Its graduates receive a master's degree in strategic defense, and every year they do accept applications from foreign military officers. Currently, there is 1 lieutenant from the Taiwan Army attending the U.S. Army War College. So that's all about me. Thank you very much for listening and learning a little bit about me and my team. Hope to get to know a little bit more about you in the next few days as well.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, our dear visitors, for bringing us more knowledge about Pennsylvania. Rocky is the only thing that I Any question today for our visitor? So, okay, we have more time later, so I would like to invite our VP to present the souvenir for our visitor investor. Mr. Investor Whitman.
Everybody.
It's a slide of friendship and a photo of your suit, and let's get some good round of applause. Thank you. Lisa? Thank you, Lisa. Are you all there?
Yeah. Everywhere.
Thank you. And oh, Avery.
they do that?
Yes.
Thank you. And our team, Adam. Thank you.
Yes.
We have a lot of federal agencies. And the last plate. Thank you, officers, for the ceremony. Now it's our annual report.
No.
I'd like to invite you to the report.
Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. First, personally, I would like to welcome the GSE again, and I hope you have a wonderful journey back to Pennsylvania. And today we have brought here 18 persons, 1 visiting Rotarian, and 6 guests. Today we have 64 visitors. Thank you.
Thank you, and
Okay, thank you. The request to you all, and a chance to visit Pennsylvania. Yeah, it's very blessed to know further about your district. It's really very nice.
Yeah.
See you next time. See you.
There should be English translation. All names will be covered in the document. This is the original meaning. Document.
然后我们今天就是有邀请到我们那个扶轮社，因为就是国会前的口，然后他本身是一位医生，然后他今天要来为我们演讲，然后我们鼓掌欢迎一下侯派。
今天张启忠医师代表大同扶轮社这些安朋们来这边跟大家演讲。主要是医学的题目，所以我会用肝、心、脾、肺、肾这个平常大家都用的语言这个语言代表说五脏六腑的意思用这个五脏六腑的。我刚刚才问同学说，原来这边要用中文演讲那我会掺杂一些专有名词也让你们。你们是不是福少团的？都是还是有同学不是福少团？都是OK， 那大家我会。有部分会尽量补充，让大家知道这个东西的那个英文名字是什么因为我们不知道可能在英文上面必须要再加强那这个要怎么样控制那个有没有那个可以控制的那个，还是有同学专门在那边按一下。以后我会帮老哥就给我用手碰的这样比较容易。那个不知道有没有？还有平常有一个长长的配我一下，不然就是那边控制好了。好，下一张我们就可以开始给同学看到，一个人的生命如果能够像这些鱼这么活泼，鱼为什么活泼？因为它肚子饿，它要吃嘛，所以用它这个体力，它就可以做它的满足它的成就感的事情，包括像人类来讲就是长大，然后读书，然后好好成长，培养成长，然后完成你的职业，你的 career 好的。能够让你能够这一生不会后悔，因为谁都要走那么一趟，对不对？所以能够这样才是健康。那动物的健康很容易看出来，人的健康不容易看出来，所以还要经过专业的医师来给他诊断，到底有没有健康，到底是不是过度活泼、过动症也不可以。那 depression 我们叫做什么？忧郁症，当然也不行好，下一张。给大家看到，我们从肝、心、脾、肺、肾这5个次序。第一个讲到肝，同学，你知道你的肝脏在哪边吗？你摸摸看你的位置，我看几个同学知道。肝脏在哪边？肝脏英文叫 liver， 哇，你连后边臂哦，你还臂跟别个都不敢危险。肝脏在右边，啊，你右边的肋骨下面是你的肝脏哦，所以肝脏是在右边哦，不要摸左边哦。还有人摸心肝，摸到上面的心脏哦。肝脏它是在我们的右边肋骨下面，肋骨就是保护它。